Welcome to Inner Racing by Motorsport Mind. This is the audio version of my popular monthly free video series on mental skills in motorsport. I'm your host Greg, and I'm here to share with you practical insights and strategies to help you enhance your mental racing performance both on and off the track. So get ready as we dive deep and explore the mindset behind successful racing, and as we look at practical ways that you can sharpen your racing mental skills performance and gain a competitive edge when you go racing. Let's get started. Hi everybody, Greg here, and in this week's video I want to talk to you about being solution focused. What does that even mean, being solution focused? Essentially, it's exactly what it is. It's not looking at the problem. It doesn't mean we're ignoring the problem, but it means that we're focused on the solutions rather than spiraling down the plug hole of problems and what's wrong. So let's have a look at some of the things that we can do, some of the things you already know how to do in order to keep yourself positive, to help keep those around you positive, and to help you keep moving forwards, whether it's practice, testing, sim, just even in general life, how we keep moving forwards towards solutions, progress, and improvement. So first of all, a brief reminder about why do we tend to become negatively focused. So there's a couple of things that we have to pay attention to, but the first thing to remember is we have this reticular activating system in our brain, and it's the thing that causes us to pay attention to things and look for patterns in certain things. So this is why the examples I always use is if you get a new pair of sneakers or trainers, you suddenly start to see other people with the same shoe, and you know, somebody else with good taste. Or you get a new car and you suddenly see that make or model or colour of car everywhere. And this is our brain pattern matching. And it can be positive or it can be negative. And when we go racing, if everything's going well, this pattern matching system says, oh, well, that's going well. What else is going well? And it looks for patterns. But if something's not going well, it does exactly the same thing. It says, well, if this is broken, if this is not working, what else is wrong? Where are the other threats? And this is why we can either be spiraling in a negative way or spiraling in a positive way. So the first thing that we have to understand is that our ability to be solution focused is very much dependent on our pattern matching. And if we go back to some fundamentals, remember our attention is like a torch. It's like a flashlight. We see what we shine it on. And so if we shine it on negative things, well, guess what we're going to see? We're going to see more negative things. If we shine it on positive things, we're going to see more positive things. So while our reticular activating system is a natural thing that happens, we have no conscious control over it particularly, we can help to influence what we're shining our torch on. So the first thing to remember when we're talking about solution focused, to be solution focused, we have to be aware of what's going on. So of course, calm always comes into it. Calm underpins everything. If I'm not calm, I'm not aware. I tend to be emotional. If I'm emotional, I'm going to be putting all in. I'm going to be all in positive or all in negative. So I've got to be calm. So that's the first thing to bear in mind. The thing that we work so hard to develop, our calmness, is pretty much key to everything that we do. So calm is the first piece of the puzzle. The second piece of the puzzle is to remember that emotions are contagious. So what's going on around me can really affect my state. So that's the people, the environment, the noise, what's going on. I have to be very aware of how my environment is affecting me. And although we call it cheap change, the easiest way to change your state is to change your environment. So if there's tension in the garage, something like that, and everybody's very negative, I don't want to catch that. You know, emotions are contagious. So I might want to change my environment. I go out, watch some racing. I put on some headphones, listen to some music. I take myself back to the truck. I change my environment. It changes my behavior and my state. The third thing to remember about being solution focused is the positivity ratio. Remember, it's 3-to-1 or higher. Barbara Fredrickson, back in, I think it was 2013, wrote the book Positivity based on the studies that they'd done. And 3-to-1 or more is the thing that helps to keep our reticular activating system and our focus on being positive. So it doesn't have to be rah, rah, rah. It just has to be, what are the 3 things that are going well or that I don't want to change or are working versus every one thing I want to change or improve. Notice, it's not what's wrong, it's what I want to change or improve. So the 3-to-1 positivity ratio helps to keep me positive, helps me stay focused towards solutions. The next thing to remember, of course, is what we call air gap. You'll see it on the mental checklist. Have you air gapped? Well, what do we mean by air gap? When we come in off of track, there is always a tendency that we could be emotional. So we have to give ourselves an air gap or a firewall, if you like, between my emotions and my thoughts, my feedback. And there's a real tendency, of course, as you know, when you come in off the track, people are there, well, how was that? Blah, 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 asking you lots and lots of questions. As the smartest person in the room, which you should always be, you've got to think, well, hang on a minute, let me go, let me get my race suit off, let me get my helmet off, let me take a moment to collect my thoughts, calm any emotions so that I can think rationally and clearly about what's working and what I want to improve. So take that sort of 2 or 3, 5 minutes after we come in off of the track, have a drink, get your race suit down, collect your thoughts, recognise, check in with yourself, check your bucket, check your emotions, then begin to give your feedback in a considered way. So always create an air gap for yourself because it helps you to manage your emotions and give you clearer thinking. The next up, creativity. So this is an interesting one because we don't want to necessarily, sometimes the solutions come from left field. Sometimes the solutions are maybe not where we're looking for it. You know, if we're only looking in one drawer for a solution, how do we know it's not in another drawer next door? So when you're looking for solutions to things that we need to improve or things that have gone wrong, include everybody's point of view. So it kind of goes back to a recent video that we did about the beginner's mind. And that's not being closed to everything, being open to everything. Somebody might have a suggestion or an idea that could actually be the thing. It could be that we're struggling for downforce. So we're talking to aero and we're looking at ride heights and stuff. But somebody actually who's on the tire says, well, you know, why don't we just reduce pressures a little bit, see if that helps? Oh, okay, we were focused here and that actually might work. So never discount any suggestions or ideas because there might just be something in there. So it's about being creative and being inclusive. Take this beginner's mind, this attitude of that there's always something to learn, there's always something to improve. We don't know everything. And in different scenarios and different situations, different solutions can work. Another thing to help us with solution focus is perceptual positions. Remember, taking ourselves out of the equation, if you like, removing ourselves so we are objective can really, really help us to see the bigger picture, the direction, and take ourselves out of that very tunneled emotional point of view. So the perceptual positions is a perfect exercise to get objectivity, to really talk it through in your own mind about what the issues might be and then what the solutions will be based upon that and what might be the best thing to do. So check out perceptual positions in the how-to videos in the app. And lastly, the race report card or even the session report card. Now, over the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a new, faster version of that. So it's not quite so much a homework assignment or writing an essay. It will be faster for you to fill in. So like 30 seconds to a minute to sort of get your thoughts out of your head, to highlight the things that will make the biggest difference to you. And over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be putting together a new, faster version of the race report card that when you click that submit button, it'll get generated into a PDF and that will get sent to your email address so you've got a permanent record. So over the course of a season, you can actually look back and see what are the common things that are coming up. After each race weekend, you can sit down and go through it and go, oh, okay, I've noticed that's come up before. Let's address that. But it helps you to have some sort of reflective practice so that you can then focus on the solutions and make consistent gains across a race weekend or a season. So reflective practice in using race report card or session report card, super important again on focusing on, okay, well, that's something that's not quite working. How do we improve it and make progress? So it's about focusing on the solutions, not the problems. I think it was Einstein that said no solution was ever found just by looking at the problem. So we have to stay solution focused so that we can learn. Remember, there's no such thing as failure. There's just feedback. When something doesn't work, we've learned how it doesn't work. So let's chalk that up to experience and say, well, that won't happen again because we've learned what doesn't work. Make a note of it and we apply that next time, and it's our fast track to progress. If we got things right all the time, then we would just always do what we always did. We wouldn't actually get any better. We wouldn't improve because we'd go, well, that works, we'll just keep doing that. There would be no development. So failure is feedback. It's our fast track to success, and it helps us to focus on the solutions that drive us forwards in our progress, in our skills, our performance, and our results. So solution focused. Focus on the solutions, what we can do, what's working, and what we can improve. Visit some of the tools that we've spoken about in this video, and I'll speak to you next time. Have a great week. Take care. Bye. And that wraps up another episode of Inner Racing by Motorsport Mind. I hope you found this month's topic valuable in your journey towards peak performance in your racing. To stay updated with the latest content, be sure to subscribe to the newsletter, download the app, and subscribe to the blog. Just visit motorsportmind.com or follow the links.